KPRC TV. Ron Stone's Scene at 5 with Doug Johnson and the Scene at 5 crew.
Well, we got some bad weather coming into the Houston area, though it's been a relatively nice day today.
Oh, really? It turned off much nicer than I thought it was going to.
Looked like rain earlier this
See
morning.
how honest I am about these things?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are.
But we do have cloud cover and rain on the way.
Before the program is over today, we're going to hear from some South African music that I think you will enjoy, as Ladysmith Black Mumbaza is coming to town for a concert on Thursday evening at Jones Hall. And we're going to hear about the legend of one of the most famous women in Texas history who never existed. Maybe she didn't exist.
Yellow Rose?
The Yellow Rose of Texas. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Did you hear about the great Braeswood sinkhole that developed this morning? It was under North Braeswood, just east of Kirby, early this morning. They say at one time it was deep enough to swallow Akeem Olajuwon and long enough and wide enough to put the rest of the team in there before they got the contractors out. About 6 o'clock this morning, somebody called in Public Works, said, we got a pothole out here. By the time they got there, the thing was 6 feet deep, 7 feet deep, then 10 feet deep, more in a pothole. Good news is nobody drove through it before they got it fixed. Needless to say, they closed the street. They fixed the whole thing up. They still don't know what made the street cave in. No water underneath it, just a big old hole under the street, which certainly makes you feel good, doesn't it, as you drive down the street today? Well, here's some good news for sure. A new survey says fewer high school and college kids are using drugs. Isn't that good? Study says anti-drug education programs are cutting into drug use. About 10 years ago, 65% of high school kids said at least they had tried pot or cocaine or other illegal drugs. The figure now is down about 15%, so that is very good news. Now back to the bad news. History's kind of repeating itself. Remember all those warnings about relying too much on imported oil, higher interest rates, inflation, all that sort of stuff? Well, last month, the United States imported more oil than it has in more than a decade, and we produced less oil than we have 20 years ago. That means we're going to be paying a lot of money one of these days for oil in this country. Trade deficit stays up, interest rate stays up, the news stays bad. Now, interest rates are rising in Japan and West Germany. For some reason, that's making investors nervous here at home today. Doug rushed down to his broker and sold this morning, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell today by nearly 39 points to 2596.85 on a volume of 147 million shares.
No, but maybe I should have.
Yeah, you should have. You should have.
Well, the weather is looking down, too, depending on how you look at that. On our half of the world, we can see all this cloud cover swirling about the area out there in the Gulf of Mexico, coming up from Mexico itself. Look how that moisture balloons in that heat of that coastal line down there and just starts moving in this direction. Well, it's all converging on us. So by tomorrow at this time, you'll have umbrellas out and everything else, while today you're looking up and squinting at all that sunshine. Also, another storm is developing up there in the extreme northwest, causing some havoc along Washington, Oregon, and California coastline. Lows predicted for tonight. Look at these temperatures. 20s into the state of Texas, even colder than that over in parts of the Great Basin. Wow. That is a good, significant cold front coming down. The last one is still causing a little appendage down there into West Virginia with some 10s expected over there tonight. For the most part, though, we'll be down in the 40s and 50-degree range around here.
Cold in the Panhandle. Got a lot of snow up around Dallas.
And more heavy snow expected up there.
Oh, yeah?
Highs predicted for tomorrow. Not very warm up in the Panhandle. 40s for most of the Texas Panhandle and the high plains. Have some 80s and 70s over in Florida. And for most of us, it'll be in the 50s or 60s because that front may lag just a little bit getting in here. So everything's going to depend on what time it arrives, you see. Precipitation for tomorrow, look at that, right over the top of us.
Yeah.
Here comes that storm system moving right over. It's kind of coming in on TC Jester, then down a little bit, 290 actually is its track there. It'll probably go out on the east side on I-10. Rain across Houston, also the southeast and down the coast of Texas. Elsewhere in the country, though, mostly nice.
Okay, all right.
I used to spend a lot of time on TC Jester.
Down TC Jester.
I used to spend a lot of time over there.
That's the name of the prison farm, isn't it?
No, I'm talking about Boulevard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
TC
you meant the Jester unit.
Yeah, that was a favorite place for Reaganites back there.
The Jester unit?
No. This is a big day in history for America's space program. Now,
This day in history.
February 20th, 1962. Astronaut John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth.
Oh, my.
His Friendship 7 capsule circled the globe 3 times at a speed of 17,545 miles per hour. Here in Houston, youngsters watched Glenn's journey on television sets in their classrooms. Grown-ups gathered around any TV set they could find. Even cowboys found a way to keep track of John Glenn's almost 5-hour-long journey right through Friendship 7's splashdown over in the Bahamas.
Isn't that a great picture?
Oh, it is.
The cowboys listening to the radio.
Does it seem a little bit antiquated, too, compared to the way, I mean, not that listening to the radio that way, but there have been a lot of astronauts, you know, that we've been getting more modern as we go along.
That was 1962, February of 62. And later that year, NASA announced it was going to move to Houston.
Oh, everything was in Cape Canaveral before that. We forget that, don't we?
And in July of 1962, we had a parade, and all the astronauts came to town. And I remember standing out on the street and say, "There's John Glenn." Yeah. It's amazing. It was really quite a great hero. Yes. We need some more heroes like that, don't we? We do. Speaking of, some heroes are coming to town tonight. You need to know about this. You'll be happy to know. Tonight's a special Channel 2 night at the Summit. Proud to sponsor Sesame Street Live Silly Dancing on stage at 7:30. Your favorite friends are going to be there, Doug. Show runs through Sunday. The entire Sesame Street gang, including Bert and Ernie and the Cookie Monster and Big Bird and Elmo. And guess what? Oscar the Grouch has a girlfriend. Will wonders never cease. Her name is Grunge Etta. Sesame Street Live. Now in its 10th season, we are happy to sponsor them tonight, and that is fun.
There's a brand new dance, and it's got a reggae beat. You do it in the bath while you wash your hands and feet. Just hop in the tub, hold the ducky in your lap, tap your toes.
I remember taking my 2 grandchildren to see that about 3 or 4 years ago, and the noise level was enormous for those of us adults there. For the kids, it wasn't quite loud enough, but that'll be fun. Coming up next, the man behind and in front of Ladysmith, Black Mambazo.
Insurance is puzzling sometimes, but your State Farm agent can put it all together for you. The best value in car insurance, low-cost coverage for your home, life insurance, coverage for your health. Everything fits together when all your family insurance...
Moonlight City, homeless, homeless, the Moonlight City, homeless, homeless, we Moonlight City on the midnight.
When Paul Simon released his award-winning album, Graceland, he introduced Americans to a wonderful South African group called Ladysmith Black Mambazo. There have been stars back home for a very long time, but most Americans had not had a chance to hear these 10 men singing the a cappella music, the traditional music of South Africa, the sound of freedom from South Africa. Their leader is Joseph Shabalala, and he is with us. He's bringing Ladysmith to Jones Hall on Thursday night, and we're delighted to have you with us. Glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
You've been singing with Ladysmith Black Mambazo for how many years before Paul Simon came along?
Oh, it's more than 17, 18 years. Yeah, no, 18 years.
18 years.
Yes, 18 years, because we've got 25 albums in South Africa.
And nobody here, very few people here in this country knew about you till Simon came along. When he came to you and we talked about this kind of music, what was your reaction to doing music with Paul Simon, doing your kind of music and his kind of music and putting them all together?
It's only one thing. It's because that you say I love Paul Simon's voice. That's why all the time when I listening him on the radio and on the record, I used to say, I wish this guy can come and join Black Mambazo a cappella, because his voice is very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Had you ever used any instruments with your using that way?
This is the beginning.
Now, when the Society for the Performing Arts brings you to the stage on Thursday night, what kind of music are you going to be doing? Graceland music, Shaka Zulu music? What are we going to hear?
Shaka Zulu music. Another album from Journey of Dreams, and we will include in those new album, the new album which is coming on April. We'll take 3 songs from that album.
I see.
Yes.
When I hear your group sing, it's almost impossible for me to sit still. Now, I have no rhythm at all. I want you to know that I don't move around very well. But when you all, Part of your singing is that you guys can't keep still when you sing, can you? You enjoy that music.
Oh yes, we enjoy the music because that is our culture, our tradition music. Now the melody is the express the sentiment of the people.
Can we look at a brief tape and let me show the people a little bit of the kind of music you will hear from Ladysmith Black Mambaza.
Here for them going, come along to kiss me. Here for them going, to kiss me. Nice, nice. Here for them going, to kiss me. Nice, nice. Here for them going, come along, come along, come along. You. To meditate, I send a message out to tell you that I want to meet you at a station. Come along to kiss me. Here for them go. Come along to kiss me. Here for them go. To kiss me. Nice, nice. Here for them go. To kiss me. Nice, nice. Here for them going. Come along. Come along. Come along.
We were just saying, you wrote that song.
Yes, exactly.
Tell me what it means. Tell me what are you saying? What are you asking?
Actually, this song is a greeting song. It's a love song. Because you see, the mission of Black Mambazo is just to spread the gospel of love each other, forgive each other.
It's going to happen when you get back home with your group. When you're going to be back home in March, April. When you get back to South Africa?
I'm going back to South Africa on March 14. I will be at home.
You'll be
exactly at home on the 15th of March.
And I take it you're anxious to get home.
Oh yes. Oh. Don't tell me.
Keep spreading that kind of love. The world needs it, and we enjoy you so much. And I hope that there's a full house on Thursday night at Jones Hall as the Society for the Performing Arts brings Ladysmith Black Mambaza. Good luck to you, Joseph Shabalala. Delighted to meet you. Thank you, sir.
I'm glad.
We'll have more in just a moment. Catherine Smith's going to drop by with a musical mystery involving one of the state's most famous people and most famous songs. Stay with us.
Frank's drinking burned out most of my love. It almost cost us everything. My minister recommended Charter Hope
Center. When we come back, Bob Allen will be here, and the Rockets tonight play Minnesota.
We've also got some lady tennis stars to introduce us to. Stay with us.
The best coffee in the world is out there. You just have to know where to find it.
This history about the legend behind the song, The Yellow Rose of Texas. Nobody knows for sure who wrote the song. Nobody is really sure what the song was written about. But there's a new book out that is sure to revive the controversy, and Catherine Smith is here to tell us a little story of some Texas myth or legend or
folklore.
Folklore.
A little bit of all of that thrown
in,
and a few facts thrown in, I guess. You know, a local author has written this book, and it's a highly fictionalized account of one of the Yellow Rose of Texas legend. She has expanded it into a full-fledged romance novel. Anita Bunkley spent almost 10 years writing and publishing her book. Along the way, she overcame the obstacles that face a first-time author and put her heart and soul into a story close to her heart. The book is Emily the Yellow Rose, and here it is. It's available at bookstores around town, and Anita Bunkley will hold a book signing tomorrow at the U of H campus downtown. It's at noon in the Presidential Suite, Ron. And, you know, like every aspiring author, she hopes to have this made into a movie. Her stars would be Jasmine Guy from A Different World and Denzel Washington as the man that she has said written the song about the Yellow Rose. About Emily. So
Emily, the Yellow Rose of Texas. It is a fascinating legend, and everybody in the world has tried to prove it, and then everybody tried to disprove it. Can't do either one.
Nope.
Let's assume it happened, okay?
It's a good novel, if nothing else.
It's a good story, Anita. Thank you for writing that. Doug's up next with our stormy forecast. It's going to rain tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll talk about that. Thanks, Dan.
The winner. In Texas, Ford is #1, period. Final score, 11,596 more Ford sold than our closest competition. 11,596 more satisfying Texas Ford owners. Why? Because Ford has America's best-built, best-selling cars and trucks. So next time you hear someone claiming they're #1 in Texas, just remember this number. Or better still, remember this.
Texas Ford and you.
Looking for a new home? Look for one with affordable natural gas. It'll help stretch your dollars now and for many years to come. Compared to an all-electric home, efficient natural gas can save you about $750 a year on water heating, home heating, cooking, and clothes drying. Affordable natural gas from Entex, the money-saving energy for a new age.
One night, several months ago, a decision was made at NCNB Texas that set us immediately to work with one thing in mind. It meant adding more locations to the largest bank network in the state at a rate of 1 branch every 5 working days. It meant introducing new products like Resource Money Market Savings, Reward Plus Checking, and High Yield Plus CDs. This one thing drove us to make more loans. Loans for homes, for education, for cars. Millions of dollars a day for personal and commercial loans. It meant getting better at what we do. So we're retraining, updating our systems, and upgrading our services. All of this was done with one thing in mind. And what's the one thing that could mobilize Texas' largest bank? NCNB Texas, banking from your point of view.
24 and a half minutes now, just about past the hour of 5 o'clock on the 5 o'clock clock. Do you have that piece of music that you can do again for me, Fred? One more time, that Yellow Rose of Texas song, I mean that San Antonio Rose song.
San Antonio.
Listen to this. Okay. Here's the deal. We played that as the closing piece of music on Friday, and a man has called 3 times to ask who did that San Antonio Rose. And each time we found out and picked up the phone, he'd already gone. So if you're listening, sir, that's Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs doing San Antonio
Was that
Rose.
really?
Flatt and Scruggs, yeah.
My goodness, sound a little bit like the
Or
old,
as Bob Nicholas said, I think it's Lester Scruggs and Earl Flatt.
Well, they were so close.
He didn't say that, but Nicholas did at one time at the rodeo. This is my all-time favorite mistake that's ever been made.
Oh, that's okay. He called me Craig Johnson once.
But before he did that, he said that at the rodeo this year was appearing Bandy Moe. And I like that. And Mo Bandy thinks it's the best introduction he's ever had. Sorry about that, Bob. But if you'd pay me the money you ow me, I wouldn't tell these things.
Here's a new 5 o'clock clock in case your others doesn't work good. Yes. That was sent over by Jean Barnhill.
Yeah.
She sent
It says
that.
it's
So I can hold that either way.
The time is 5 o'clock for those who
Never
refuse
mind,
to
you
drink
hold
till
that.
after 5.
Oh, I'll go do the weather now
Okay.
if you'll hang on to that. We do have quite a bit of stormy weather headed in this direction. Several things are converging on us all at one time. The low this morning in Houston officially at Intercontinental Airport was 45 degrees, and this afternoon got up to 68. With all that sunshine out there, that was a bit of surprise to some people. 44 was the normal low, 67 the normal high, so we're right at 1 degree above all that. Record low 30, set in 1978. This is some indication, I suppose, that spring couldn't be too far away. And the record high, 91. We're now into the 90s. That was set in 1986. Right now at Hull Airport on the west side of Houston, it's 64. 63 right now at Hobby, 62 for downtown, 67 up at Intercontinental Airport, and 59 is the current temperature for downtown Galveston. Here's all the cloud cover, and here's the strip of blue that we got today, stretching from the Houston area up to around the Sabine, over into Louisiana, and then at any of those points in that wedge, you would have had a beautiful day of it. But look at all the cloud cover and bands of rain out in West Texas headed in this direction. Quite a lot of instability out in the Gulf of Mexico, also moving a little bit up to the north. And here's the next cool front. There's a warm front that's going to pass through first, though, later on tonight, and then the cool front coming through late tomorrow. This low is deepening, that is, it's worsening tonight as it moves off to the east, delivering a lot of snow up to sections of New Mexico and Colorado, and a lot of that's going to be moving into the Texas Panhandle and Kansas, even more of it tonight and tomorrow. Forecast tomorrow, cloudy skies and an 80% chance of rain, and some of that could get heavy. Keep the boats handy. 52 temperature low, and the high temperature is expected to be right around 60 degrees. Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, a little thinning of the overcast, and we're expecting a 40% chance of rain, at least early in the day. And I'm going to leave in a 10% on Friday, even though it's going to be turning into a beautiful day. Good. Low of 37 and a high of 59. It's just that I think because of an upper level disturbance, it's going to be a little slow to clear out. But all in all, it's going to be getting a lot better.
Tomorrow will not be a very nice day, but the Scene at 5 will be out at the Astro Arena or Astro Hall or
it's
one
a
of
good
those
place to be in that kind of weather.
We're inside and everything's fine, and they tell me you're going to interview a clown and his pet monkey.
See, I didn't know that.
Well,
I love monkeys.
I know you do.
I do.
I know you do. They look up at you and say, Dad. Happy birthday to Grandma Fuchs. Grandma is keeping her exact age secret, but they're partying in Meyerland anyway. She used to own the Claiborne Pharmacy.
Oh, yes. I used to buy cherry phosphates from her.
Sometimes you pay.
Yeah. And a belated happy anniversary to Elva and Frank Puckett. They were married 74 years ago last month, but we just got the picture a couple of days ago. Frank's a barber, you know.
Yeah.
And he was in a story on the Scene at 5 just a while back.
We got to go. We'll see you tomorrow from the rodeo.